Today, we're talking about how you can make the leap from day job to dream business. Welcome to the Creative Business TV show, where we help you make a success of your creative business. So how do you take the plunge and go from being an employee working for someone else to being the boss of your own dream business? You know, this is something I think pretty much all creative entrepreneurs have struggled with, and it often seems like you're climbing a mountain that you never get to the top of. Have you ever had that dream where you're running down a corridor that never ends? You keep on running on and on and on and on, but it never, ever, ever gets any closer. And what's worse is it's a recurring dream that you have quite often. Well, it's more like a nightmare, actually. Anyway, you get my point. When I first started the Academy 10 years ago, I held down 2 part-time jobs to finance my business. It was exhausting, but it was exhausting. But the only reason I survived it and got to the point I'm at today was because I had an end goal. I wanted to be completely and utterly mobile. I wanted to have the ability to run my business from anywhere in the world. My daughter was a figure skater and she was good too. So I wanted to be able to travel with her and allow her to have the experience of training in ice rinks around the world with amazing coaches. That is exactly what I ended up doing. It did take a few years before I was able to give up the day jobs and transition completely into my business and be 100% working from, the side of different ice rinks around the world. Yes, I was that mum. I sat by the side of a freezing cold ice rink wrapped in numerous blankets, typing away on my laptop whilst my darling daughter trained her little backside off. Oh yeah, that was my dream. So I hear you when you ask me, how can you turn your passion into a profitable business? Now trust me when I say there are no quick fixes, there's none. And I don't have time in a 5-minute video to go through all my tips and tricks, but there are some steps I can share with you right now that will help you to get on the road to where you want to be. So step 1, you've got to stop hating your day job. I've seen this happen so many times, I've lost count. You're so invested in your new business and you want to start it so badly, you actually start to resent your proper job. So much so that you hate going and you're miserable every time you set foot in the building or sit at your desk. When you're there, your body might be, but your mind isn't, and you spend your time daydreaming about your passion or Googling things for your business. And that's not good. The problem with this, apart from it being an issue for the person paying your wages, is that these sort of negative feelings, they drain all of your energy. So by the time you get home, you're zapped and you can't function properly. The last thing you want to do after 8 hours of whining, complaining, and feeling sorry for yourself is to work full steam on your own business. So this sort of reaction to your day job, it's counterproductive for your business. It's going to leave you with zero energy for working on the one thing you really love. And another very good reason to put your heart and soul into your day job is finances. How are you going to finance your new business if you've got no money? This period of time before the transition is when you should be doing all your research and building yourself a nest egg, that money cushion you can sit on for when you're ready to quit your job and get things moving with your business. Step 2, find your sweet spot. Now, this is really important. It's often the one step people don't invest enough time in. You need to find the sweet spot between what you love to sell and what your customers love to buy. You can look at what other businesses have done all you want, but in the end, you and your customers are, or should be, totally unique. And you need to be able to find the right make sense solution for you. This is the philosophy that I use to create the Academy. I wanted to provide ongoing training and education for wedding and event planners that would be available to people around the world without them having to leave the comfort of their own home. I also didn't want to provide them with a paper-based course that was sent out in the post. I wanted something that was more interactive and engaging than that. Nothing like it existed at the time because it was before online learning had become mainstream. So I invested the time and the money to build a virtual academy from scratch. And you know what? It's taken my business just way above and beyond what I could ever have imagined. Focusing on giving myself and my customers exactly what we couldn't find anywhere else was the sweet spot that made the Academy a success. Step 3, you've got to validate your ideas. So let's assume you found your sweet spot. So now you need to make sure that this particular idea, whatever it is, has legs. And that means asking real people from your target market and asking them what their problems are. Yeah, takes work. Newsflash, running a business is bloody hard work. So you've got to be prepared to get your backside into gear and go and find out where your ideal client is hanging out. And don't just, pick one or two, select a few of them to find out what their pain points are and then see how you can solve them. So let me give you an example. When I decided that I wanted to branch out on my own, under my own name, offering an online business course and a retreat for creative entrepreneurs to make a success of their business, I turned to a group of women aged between 30 to 45, my target demographic, and I asked them if they'd consider helping me to create the perfect product for them. I talked to them about their challenges, their fears, their frustrations, anything and everything they struggled with when it came to running a successful creative business. And I then laid out my ideas and plans for the product I wanted to offer and asked them, would you be willing to pay money for this? It's the only way to know if what I was going to be offering was a viable service. And the point I'm making there is I validated my ideas. I spoke to enough of these creative entrepreneurs to know that my idea was on track and I could now start to get my business off the ground. Now, of course, there's many more steps you've got to go through to crack this nut, but these are my top 3 steps for really getting you to start thinking like a successful entrepreneur. You know the drill. It's my turn to ask you the questions. I want to know, are you in the midst of your transition? Has it been challenging? Can you share some specific strategies that have worked for you? Share away with our wonderful community of creative entrepreneurs. So that's all I have for you today on the Creative Business TV show. And if you'd enjoyed it, please like it, comment and subscribe. And if you want to be even more connected, come to kyliecarlson.co and get on the mailing list and you'll get lots of fabulous advice, tips, ideas and tricks that you only get when you subscribe. Thank you so much for listening and I'll see you all soon.